Hey, everybody. I am here tonight, special Friday night interview, and we have Matt Wynn with us. Hey, Matt, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good, doing good. Glad to finally snag some time away to get you on here with me.
I know I am too. I'm definitely glad that was able to kind of line up tonight. I'm jumping on another one with my buddy Mark later, so I was kind of like, man, well, I can knock out a few things and one night, which keeps me out of trouble. So
Well, that's good. You can't get in too much trouble, though, with this lockdown we're on everywhere. So
yeah,
somebody had posted on, I can't remember if it was Facebook or Instagram. I think it was Instagram earlier, a picture of downtown Nashville, or I guess
yeah,
I say downtown. I don't know if it's downtown or not, but the main strip of Nashville.
yeah, Broadway.
Broadway. Thank you. That just left me for a
Yeah.
minute. And it was
Oh
like
yeah,
a ghost town. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Nashville look like that.
I mean, I haven't either. I've lived here, about 5 years, and yeah, I mean, I've never seen it like that either. So
Yeah.
it's very odd. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't, I mean, I know guys that've been here, 20 years, and have never seen it like that. So it's pretty astounding. But I mean, it's like that everywhere. It's like that at Times Square. I mean, it's like that.
Yeah.
This is something nobody, has really experienced or really can see coming, but I'm very blessed to be, healthy and safe. And I pray for all the people out there that are affected by the coronavirus, that either directly or indirectly through people that they know and love. And it's just my thought and prayers go out to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. I don't know anyone myself. And I hope it stays that way, but I'm like you. I'm I hate it for those that have suffered it or have family members that are. I think this is the saddest thing probably in my lifetime that I've ever seen, and hope I
Yeah.
don't ever have to see anything like it again.
No, I
Um,
mean, I hope not either. I mean, I hope that we, I mean, who would ever thought it would have happened at all in the first place, but I mean, it just shows, we say it all the time, I think, as human beings, and say, live every day like it's your last, and,
right.
don't take, things for granted. Just even everyday things, the fact that we wake up in the morning, the fact that, we get to go out and do what we do. Especially for me, in my case, that I get to do what I do, and I've worked hard to get here, but, and I'll continue to work, but still, nothing's owed to us, including, our health. Unfortunately, I think stuff like this really reminds us to be extremely grateful for not only our health, but for our family and our loved ones, and everybody around us, because in 2 seconds, just like it was, it can be taken away. So
Yep. Exactly.
now even going to the park, or going, to the grocery store or anything, that's a gift.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know everybody's going to look at things, or I hope they do look at things. I know I will look at things a lot differently when this is over and we can go somewhere. Um, I mean, I know a lot of people are still going places, but to go out to eat, and sit down in
Oh
a
yeah,
restaurant with your friends or your family, that's going to be strange. Um,
it
you
is. I
know,
mean, I'm from Missouri. Originally, I obviously lived in Nashville for a while, but I'm from Missouri, and and so is my girlfriend. We have a place together down here, and we were going to go back this weekend originally for Easter. Obviously, and uh, just because we live so close to each other, which is another blessing. We grew up so close to each other, so our families are close. But we decided not to because of everything going on, and they're kind of being weird with like passing state lines if you're not from there,
yeah,
or if your license plate, or even if your license plate isn't from there, it can be kind of hard and odd. And I haven't done a whole lot of obviously traveling over this whole thing, but this is probably the longest I've gone without seeing them, maybe ever.
yeah,
As far as for me, because I hadn't seen them for several months before that. Before this happened, because of just traveling and being busy and all those meetings and
Yeah.
traveling for shows and stuff like that. And normally, this would be around the time where, the tour schedule would kick up even more,
Oh
and
yeah.
you'd be gone for X amount of time and, in all these different states. And so for me, it's just, even sitting down and having a dinner with dinner with your family or seeing your mom and dad or your siblings or, it's, I was grateful for that beforehand, but I'm going to be especially grateful now.
Yeah. It's hard. It's just, it's weird. Like my husband's nephew actually passed away earlier in the week, and they had his funeral today, and that was just a weird situation because I mean, I didn't go because I have a lowered immune system, and so I just didn't want to take that chance of going. But they said the first 50 people that get here, you're allowed in. Other than that, sorry, you can't come in. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, that's sad. If you've got a big family, which we do, you've got a big family and you can't even see your loved one off. And I thought, that's just weird. And, my husband said that, it was kind of a weird situation because it was different, but, at least they are allowing that to happen. But they did cut that number off at 50 people. But I
Yeah,
mean,
especially as Americans, the good and the bad thing is, we're not used to being told no. We're not used
yeah,
to being told no. We're not used to being told that we can't do, things that we want to do, or especially stuff like that. Funerals
oh
and things
yeah,
like that, which are a given. Or even going to church. It's Good Friday, and I'm a Christian, and as so many others are, and
yeah,
normally
absolutely.
normally I'd be going to church today, and and this is a big week, for us, and
Yeah, everybody would be getting ready for Easter Sunday and shopping for their
exactly,
dresses, and yeah,
exactly. I just think about that. Um, I think every all these things hit, different at different times for everybody, but for me, like a week or two ago, I think I was supposed to be, I think a week ago, maybe a little over a week, maybe a week or two. Um, I was sitting here in my, in my place in Nashville, and I was like, man, I'm supposed to be doing a radio interview right now and playing on TV. And then I had a show with my band in Kentucky the next day. And I was just like, and then I was supposed to be in Franklin, Tennessee after that. And I was like, gosh, it's crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of that, but it's because it feels like I'm just, sitting here. Feels like I'm just supposed to be sitting here because it was, but, yeah, it's just bizarre. Um, but I have a lot of friends too that had people and loved ones pass away in this time, and they weren't able, them or just their immediate family were able to go to the funeral.
are
You
you
there,
back?
my friend? Yeah.
You back? I was like, oh no, Facebook is going to start doing like Instagram. Ah,
Sorry. Where did it cut off? I guess, or what do you want to go to next?
you were supposed to be in Kentucky playing, but yeah, it's messed up
Yeah.
all y'all's schedules, and even when you do get to come back to go play in, your schedules are still going to be messed up because what they're going to have to reschedule everything to get you booked back in, and or will you just pick up where you left off? How will that work?
I
Or do you
wish I
even
knew.
know?
I wish I knew. I mean, even the stuff that we have rescheduled, like I said, a lot of the stuff, even from things in April and May, or even June and July, some festivals and events that I was playing at, like Summerfest out in Milwaukee, which is a major music festival. Hundreds and thousands of people, go to it, and it's 12 days long. I was playing there. This summer is supposed to be in June, and they moved that to September. But I think of major events like that, and even smaller events that are rescheduled to later dates. Whether it's August, September, October, November, and so on. I mean, those are just tentative dates, and we're going to plan on them, but we don't know how long it's going to go, and we don't know what it's going to be like when they do lift everything. Are we even going to be able to function and do those events?
Right.
You know, so I mean, everything is just really up in the air. I wish I had more info, and I wish I had, as everybody does, you know,
Yeah.
or will they be able to do those events but not be able to have the amount of numbers that they would be able to have, whether it's out of people being afraid, understandably, of going out, um, or to spend money with everybody getting hurt with financially with this, and then for just public safety,
Right.
concern. It's a truly unknown thing. One of the handful of things that we've really never been through, not only as a country but as really a world.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah. Um,
at least anyone alive,
oh,
you know.
yeah, for sure. And I didn't think about it from that aspect where y'all are concerned that, it's not just planning on y'all's end, it's, how the crowd is going to respond, how your
Oh,
fans
it's
are going to
everything.
respond to it.
I
So
mean, you could have
there's a lot of factors.
it is. You could have a ton of stuff booked. I mean, just like I did this entire summer.
Yeah.
And then they could be like, oh, we got to push it back more, or it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Whether, and then you throw in even if you're able to get together, will people come out? Can they spend the money? Do you have sponsors?
Right.
For because people are hurting. So it's just a matter of a lot of pieces got to fall in, to be able to make things go back. So even when they lift stuff, it's probably not going to go right back to normal. There's going to be a lot of adjustment, not just from my industry, but from everybody. There's going to be a lot of businesses that were previously thriving and doing extremely well, and they're probably never going to run again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, I know I heard today, like one thing, me and my husband we were supposed to go on a cruise um,
Yeah.
in March. And of course, that got canceled. And then I
Oh,
heard that, huh?
you didn't go?
Well, it's kind of hard to go when they're not running.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, they had completely shut it down by that point. And then I heard today um, that they've canceled all cruise ships in the U.S. until August.
I
So,
mean, I believe that
yeah,
100%. Just, I mean, from their standpoint, and also just from what I'm dealing with, with
yeah,
all that stuff. So that's pretty much the earliest that most people are even considering to put a rescheduled date on, and who knows if that'll even be a date where they can do it. So I don't know.
yeah. Mm.
I hope it is. I hope it's back then, because I'd love to be out there doing what I do. And
Oh, I know. I'm sure all of y'all are going a little bit stir crazy. But while you've been in, have you been writing new material? I mean, I know you've been in a
yeah,
lot of writing sessions and stuff like that. So have you got a lot of new stuff ready to put out, or, well, not a lot,
I
but
mean,
I mean,
that's a
what have
good
you been
question.
working on?
I mean, before all this, like I was saying, me and my producer and everything, I had a lot going on in meetings, and we were meeting with a lot of major labels, and setting up tour dates with some bigger artists, and which was going to be great. Hopefully, all those things will still happen once everything gets back to normal. Um, and we were kind of a lot of songs on hold, with some other artists, and as a songwriter, and then as an artist myself, we have recorded, a project, um, and we were it was kind of set up to be like a pitch project, to labels and things, and kind of we're going to wait and see what happened then, and then all of a sudden all that got shut down with this happening, and we're just kind of at a sitting and waiting to see what's going to happen. And I was talking to my team, my producer, and just my whole team, and asking them, well, are we gonna maybe want to release some of this music while we're all in quarantine, and because I'm getting stir crazy myself, and I'd love for people to have something out and just kind of keep things moving in some
Yeah.
way, beyond just doing stuff like this, and doing joint you know, riding over, you know, FaceTime or Zoom or any of that. And, you know, and all the virtual radio tours and things like that. We did talk about it, and I think we're going to do something like that. I just don't have a date yet. I think we want to get like a photo shoot and a few of the things set up, you know, if we can get it done before all that. And then I think hopefully we're going to soon release some new music, but I just don't know yet what date wise. So yeah, we're planning on it. I just don't know when.
Well, we'll be on the lookout for that. But
Yeah.
what you want to play something for us?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right.
Well, you were asking about new music. I'll play one that I recorded on this project I was telling you about. I wrote a while back, and then maybe I'll play you a tune that I wrote right before quarantine.
Okay.
At least was mandatory, you know, and we wrote like kind of in the coronavirus period. But this one's on the record, and it's called Boots Like These. I wrote it with my good friends Jacob Noe and General Master. It's a song that goes out to all the people, men and women in this country that make it run, that wear boots. Like, you know, our carpenters, our coal miners, our police officers, firefighters, military, who are all, a lot of them are still working and still doing their thing. While all this is going on, all those people that make our country so great. And then also, but, you know, I'm going to give this a shout out for this one specifically for our healthcare workers, you know, nurses and doctors and everybody who are just putting their lives on the line, and as well as all the other people that wear boots. So anyway, this song's called Boots Like These, and I'll play it real quick.
All right.
Get warmed up. Here, hold on. Let me tune this real quick because it's
No problem.
I tune because I care.
Who was it said that the other night? I think it was Ava that said that to me the other night.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, you know, it just ain't gonna hold, especially when you throw a capo on it. All right, here we go. Might be rough around the edges, might not look like much to you. Yeah, I know you're probably thinking maybe time for something new. You can try to fix them up, but you don't understand. They don't just tell a story, they tell you who I am. Worn and torn at the seams, holes on the soles with dirt underneath. Man, they've carried me through everything. From Sunday service to kicking up dust, washing the water, cleansing the mud. The scuffs and marks show the miles I seen. You can't buy boots like these. Oh, yeah. Been on the coast of California, and underneath the southern Georgia sky, yeah. They watch me fall in love and break up. Have to tell my granddaddy bye. They've been through every high and every low. They'll be with me anywhere I go. Worn and torn at the seams, holes on the soul with dirt underneath. Yeah, they carry me through everything. From Sunday service to kicking up dust, washing the water, cleansing the mud. Yeah, they're worn in, torn at the seams, with holes on the soles and dirt underneath. They're carrying me through everything. From Sunday service to kicking up dust, washing the water, cleansing the mud. Steps and marks show the miles I've seen. Hey, I've got them and they've got me. You can't buy boots like these. No, no. Yeah, boots like these.
Yes,
Hey,
I like that.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Which I have heard that before.
Oh, have you?
I think I've heard it on your Instagram. You
Yeah,
have it
that
on your Instagram? Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Seems like I've heard that before on your Instagram.
Yeah, it's probably out there somewhere. I mean, it's not released, obviously, but like a studio version of it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's out there. I post things and other people post things, and
Yeah.
things get shared, and I don't even know what's out there anymore.
Yeah, like I haven't heard the whole thing, but like parts of it, I was like, that sounds familiar. And I thought it's probably on his Instagram.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But I like that. It's got a really good message to it.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
And that's the thing about country music that I love is the majority of songs. Some songs are just fun. You know, I mean, some are just fun. But the majority of them really truly have a message. That, you know, just means something. But, you know, we've talked about like all these rough days and how they are. Do you have like a favorite quote or scripture or something that gets you through the tough days? Even not going through this, just, you know, on a regular day, something that you turn to that you read that just kind of lifts you up.
That is a good question. You know, I'm so I grew up singing in church, and that's where I first, you know, really was able to perform and learn to love music, and from a really young age, you know, in grade school and everything, and continued on into middle school and high school and all that. And so I'm a very and I was luckily grew up in a household that faith was a big thing, and that was I was introduced to Jesus, you know, at a young age. And I'm very grateful for that because as a result, going into my now pretty much my whole life, I've been a very faithful person. And being faithful doesn't, you know, necessarily always mean going to church. It's what you do. I mean, going to church obviously is, you know, part of it, but I'm saying, you know, it's what you do out of it,
right?
You know, and how you treat people and how you live your life.
Absolutely.
You know, and I've been fortunate to be around so many amazing people and amazing individuals, family, friends, constant people I run into that have such a heart for God, you know, and some don't even know. So, you know, my faith is definitely very important to me, as is music, you know, and I think a lot of times when they mix them together, you know, that's when I hear things that get me through the day. And sometimes it's stuff, you know,
yeah.
You know, sometimes it's faithful things. Like sometimes it's you know directly speaking about God, and then other times it's just something that, you know, I hear a country song or something on the radio, and that, you know, that doesn't necessarily talk about God, but I feel God through it. You know,
Yeah.
and it gives me what I need, you know, to get through the day or get through a hard thing. And I'll tell you the thing I saw today, that was. It was a weird. I was telling my girlfriend Katie, I was like, today was just a weird day. It's one of those days you wake up and what's going on hits you a little harder than normal, and you're in a weird headspace. And one of the things that really got me today, and I don't know why, but I always quote John 3:16. You know, is that's one that people use all the time. But the reason I say it and is one of my favorites is because it says basically everything you need to know about her faith in it.
Yeah.
Right in it. God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten
Only
Son.
begotten son. Mm-hmm.
And today that hit me hard because I almost forgot it was Good Friday. And you think it's just another day, especially with everything going on.
Yeah.
Movement, everything feels the same. And I saw that on my friend Todd Cameron, who was my roommate for a few years here in Nashville. It was one of the reasons I was able to even move to Nashville, and gave me a place to live, and I could afford and everything. And so shout out to Todd. He posted something on his story, and I saw it like not too long before me and you started talking, and it just had that quote with the cross on the hill, and said, God so gave, the John 3:16, God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. And for whatever reason that hit me, and just made me just be like, I need to be more grateful, and I need to be thankful, not, that I'm alive and that I'm able to talk to,
Yeah.
have friends that ask me to do stuff like this, and have friends that ask me to, from friends and people that support my music and radio stations and labels and publishers and all these different things that, even if all that is on hold right now, and
Yeah.
some of the things are moving and some of the things aren't, I need to be thankful and say to God, just thank you. Even with everything going on, I just need to find ways to wake up in the day and be productive and be doing what, I think is on my heart to do, which is the things that I know God wants me to do.
Yeah.
I think God speaks to, at least to me, God speaks to me through my gut and my heart.
Yeah.
The head sometimes gets it a little mixed up. So I try to follow that, and I feel God through music, and I feel God through people.
Yeah.
And today it was, indirectly it was, Todd posting that, and it was a people thing today.
Yeah.
And then the music part came here. So that was a long explanation
Yeah. No, I get it.
for what, but that was kind of put you a little bit in my headspace about why, how to answer that question. It's a really good question.
No, I get it totally. And I love your answer. And I love that you openly speak out about God. It seems like so many people are like afraid to, which is totally against what He says.
True.
You know, you don't be ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I will tell everybody and anybody that I love God, and I'm, not afraid of that. But it just seems like, I remember one of the country awards when Kane Brown's drummer died. It was
Yeah.
like right after his drummer died,
I
and
remember that.
was it Thomas Rhett that had like stopped in the middle of it and said a prayer? I believe I'm right. And
yeah, no, I think he did. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure.
like stopped in the middle of it and wanted to say a prayer, and like Reba McEntire was just like, thank you. I want to thank you for that. And I thought to myself, she shouldn't have to thank him. I understand why she did, but like she shouldn't have to thank him. And then I'm like, I love him for being brave enough, because he made like a statement about, I don't care who likes it, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And
Yep.
I'm like, you go, exactly. Who cares if they don't like it? Too bad. But
Yeah.
so I loved your
Absolutely.
answer. I loved your answer, and I totally get it, because a lot of times, I've said this numerous times, music is healing. And whether it's
Yeah.
country music or a good old gospel song, and me and my husband have trouble with both of us liking the same type of church, because
Yeah.
I get as much out of the music, and I like the older Southern gospel hymns
Mm-hmm.
versus this new contemporary stuff.
Sure.
If that's what people like, great, have at it. But just give me a good old fashioned hymn book, and I'm good to go.
I love it. I love it. And
Especially
everybody's.
throw some Southern Baptist into it. Hey.
No, I get it. I got a little bit of both growing up. I grew up in a town called Flint Hill in Missouri, about an hour outside of St. Louis, and it's about 600 people. Went to the little church in the town, one of the only things in that town called St. Theodore, and it was exactly what you're describing,
Yeah.
the hymn books and real old school kind of thing. Growing up doing that, and then I got into high school and got involved in youth group and things like that, and and then started doing some music ministry stuff, and then got that contemporary stuff. So I can respect and like both, but
Yeah.
um, I think that there's different things speak to different people, just like there's
Oh
different
yeah.
genres, different genres and different things, and they can mix together. And I'm never going to be one of those people that necessarily rubs my faith into other people in their faces or anything.
Right.
I'll speak on it when I feel it's appropriate, and I'll speak on it when I feel like I need to say something, and it's usually always just about myself, and how I grew up, or how I live, or anything. I think that the biggest way that you can speak, because you're not going to change people's hearts and bring people to God by yelling at them and telling them that they need to do this and they need to do that and all this stuff. You're going to do it
Absolutely.
by being kind to people. You're going to do it by living by example, and then they're going to ask you. And they're going to say,
Right.
what do you do? What's your faith? What's all these different things. That's what God wants. I mean,
Yep.
for me at least, and myself, and I also have an outlet for writing songs where I can, and that's one of the reasons I love country music. I always felt Jesus represented country music in a lot of ways, because Jesus went out to the people, Jesus went out to bars, Jesus did all these different things and spoke to people that would probably maybe never go to church. And I have that outlet with what I do to
Yeah. I
write
hadn't thought of
songs.
it that way. Yeah.
To write, I have the outlet with what I do to write songs and talk to people and potentially make them feel God and bring God in their life, um, without them ever going to church or not knowing, or just being open and opening their heart to it. um, and so I always love that. A friend of mine told me that they thought Jesus represented country music, and that really hit me hard, and I try to live
Yeah.
that, write that, and um, so as a result, and a lot of people that listen to my music and know songs that I've released and songs that I haven't released or play out all the time or don't play out, know that I definitely sneak God in there quite a bit, even in just the country songs I write. And it's just a different language. You're speaking to different people,
Yeah.
versus a Southern gospel thing or a contemporary Christian or anything, which is great. It's just a different audience. You're going to be
Yeah.
speaking to people that you're going to be speaking to the people that are already going to church, that are doing all that stuff. Country is in the outskirts. It's just a everyday thing.
Well,
So
and that's what I've said too. I mean, country music to me is like one big family,
mhm.
and that's basically what church is too. So
Absolutely,
I mean, it just makes sense. I like that your friend said that. I don't think I've ever heard that before. So um,
that was
I
Don
like that.
Poitras.
I like
Yeah,
that.
Don Poitras told me that. I don't even know if he knows he said that, but he said it to me one day in passing, and he's written a lot of big songs. He wrote one of the big songs he wrote was I'm a little more rain poles out in Channel Cat. I'm a little more country than that. The Easton Corbin song.
Yep.
Um, he's a very faith-filled guy, but he's written a lot of really amazing songs.
That's cool. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
What speaking of Southern gospel, that's another sort of kind of another genre of music. Do you
Yeah, they're the
like other
same family.
genres besides country?
Oh yeah, I'm just a music guy. In general, I mean, I grew up, loving country music, and I grew up feeling connected to that because of where I lived, and my upbringing was relatable to me. But also, it was the songwriting, it was the people singing the songs, and the way that they lived.
Yeah.
Guys like Garth Brooks. You know, uh, I was big in the Rascal Flatts, thing growing up. Phil Vassar, Daryl Worley, the Beatles. All those people, they were big influences on me, and some of them are good friends now. And which is, big full circle, type things, which
Yeah.
is cool. Some of the biggest influences in my life, but other genres too. I mean, I went to high school just like any other kid, and was exposed to all the different genres, and I've grown to appreciate and love them. And I mean, there's no pure genres today anymore. They're a hybrid of everything everyone's been influenced by. And I was definitely influenced by a ton of classic rock and um, you know even modern rock and pop music and everything. So I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up and I love and appreciate, and some of my biggest influences are non-country artists. Like I said, like the Beatles. But one of
Yeah.
the biggest things for me was people, especially. I mean, I love people that don't write too, but I'm always have been very well connected to songwriters just because I'm myself one, and
Yeah.
grew and always growing up was wondering who wrote the songs um, and whose idea it was to say that, and and all these different things. So, and my grandpa was a big influence on me just as a person, and was one of the only other musical people in my family um, that actually performed and did some stuff like that. And he was a big Beatles guy, and my dad was too, and so that really got me into it. And then got pulled in like by growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, and by guys like Phil Vassar and Garth Brooks and Tim McGraw and um, you know uh, Rascal Flatts and Travis Tritt,
Oh
and
yes.
all those guys pulled me in and never let me go. So, and here
Yeah.
I am, you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
and
I
I always
have
had a
to
heart
ask
for it.
you, since I know you went on American Idol
Mm-hmm.
and went to Hollywood Week,
Mm-hmm.
is it as bad as they say?
In what
Hollywood
way?
Week being, you know, Hell Week. Is it truly that bad?
Well, I mean, I think everybody's experience is a little different. I mean, for some people, absolutely. It's high stress.
Yeah.
In the sense that they're the way it's set up too. It's a TV show. I mean, that's the first thing. That it's not. It's less about the music and more about the entertainment. And are you going to get people to tune in? So they put you in high stress situations and don't feed you for long periods of time and things like that to try and get reactions. You know,
Yeah.
uh, so that they can have a TV show. So, and I kind of knew that going in and had an idea about that. I was also 17, 18 years old when that was going on. So I really wasn't thinking about it a whole lot.
Yeah.
I've always been a pretty laid back guy, but especially at that age, I mean, I was just enjoying it and trying to have a good time. I always function best that way. If I enjoy where I'm at and enjoy the people and
Oh
don't really think about it a whole lot and just kind of keep out of my own head, prepare as much as I can, and then just kind of go for it. So for me, it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
But I mean, for a lot of people, if it is absolutely hell week. But um, for other people, I mean, that was so long ago, for me, too. And, I hadn't even been to Nashville, but, yet by the time like I said, I was just out of high school, 18 when Hollywood came around, 17 when the whole thing was started.
Yeah.
Um, so it was just, interesting, time in my life. So,
Just
um,
one little stepping stone in your life.
it was. So I'm glad to be in Nashville. I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing, and it was fun. It was fun thing to experience growing up, watching that show.
Yeah.
And being when I grew up and when I was younger, that was such a big thing. So
Oh yeah.
that was really fun. It was.
Yeah. Um, well, where do you see yourself or where do you hope to see yourself, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Still, I mean, obviously still
Hello.
singing. Can you hear me? Did I lose you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hmm. Can you hear me, my friend?
Can you? Oh, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Are you muted?
Uh-uh. Can you hear me now? Let me see. Let me try this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Somebody tried to. I should have put the do not disturb thing on. I'll do that now. But
I don't know why.
somebody tried to video call me, and I think it cut off.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting close to the time that you've got to head out. So, do you want to sing us? You want to sing us one more before you have to head to your next show?
For sure, absolutely. I'll play this. This song is this next one is from my buddy Daniel Nally. He runs this amazing rum company called Cabana Rum, and the hat I'm wearing right now is them, and he's been incredible support of me both personally and musically, and so is the company. And he used to be the vice president of Pepsi. This guy's, and then he was a special ops sniper in the Marines. I mean, the guy's an absolute badass and one of my closest friends, and his whole family is incredible. Shout out to them. Please go check out Cabana Rum. You can order it online. Even though it's in some stores too, but with everything going on, just check out the website, cabanarum.com, I think. Seriously, some of the best I've ever had. Not just rum, just in general. And I wouldn't say that unless I really believed it. But shout out to him. I wrote this next song with a couple of friends of mine. It was the one that was like right when we started kind of quarantining, and that was the publishing companies were still open and things, and they closed like a couple days after that. Natalie M. Morris, who's an amazing duo called Southern Halo, and Liz Henberg, who's written a ton of stuff for Reba. You mentioned her earlier, and a bunch of stuff for a bunch of people. We wrote this song called Why Girl. And my buddy Daniel Nally really wanted me to play it tonight because he's been loving it, and I do too. It's one of my favorite newest songs I've written. So anyway, everybody kind of knows a why guy or a why girl that are in a situation, and love is blind. It's not always a great thing, so you look at them and you're like, why are you there? So anyway, this is that.
Okay.
If you're sitting all alone in a little pink dress, shows Valentine's Day. Oh wait, I started this too high. Hold on, my bad. No, it's new, so give me a sec. If you're sitting all alone in a little pink dress, shows Valentine's Day to get drunk with his friends. Makes me want to shake my head and say, why, girl? Do you check your phone when it's only gonna ring around midnight when he only wants one thing? And you dance like a puppet on a string. Why, girl? Oh, why do you let me cry? Losing your life, living a lie. Don't tell me you're fine. You're not fine. You're always looking so blue. Burning your time on the devil in the sky. Don't tell me why. Oh, why, girl, why? Yeah. He's not the kind of guy you bring home to your mom. He's never gonna have a couple beers with your pa. But you let him walk away with the key to your heart. Why, girl? Why, girl? Why do you let him make you cry? Losing your mind, living a lie. Don't tell me you're fine. is looking so good. Burning your time on the devil in disguise. Don't tell me why. Oh, why, girl, why do you settle for less than you deserve? It's time you start seeing what I know you're worth. Why? Tell me why. Tell me why. Why do you let me cry? Burning your time on the devil in disguise. Don't tell me why. Oh, why, girl, why? Ooh, ooh, yeah. Oh, why, girl, why? Yeah, it's a brand new one.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So that's Why Girl.
That's
That
why,
makes
girl.
sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that. That's a good one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So that one and the one you sang before, then we have to look forward to. You've already released
Yeah,
those, they're just not
well,
out.
yeah, the boots like these has been recorded. You know, I don't know what will adjust or not adjust in between now and then, but Y Girl hasn't been recorded or anything yet. I mean, that's
Oh,
brand
okay.
new.
So that's brand new.
Yeah, I mean that's brand new. So I haven't even played it out live like to people. I've just only
Oh,
played it on virtual stuff.
cool.
You know, I didn't have the chance to. So yeah, so that's a social exclusive
That's
right
cool.
now.
All right, then.
Yep.
Well, that's something for everybody to remember. All right.
Man, thank you so much for having me on. We'll have to do this again.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I know I'm kind of cutting it a little short. I got to hop on my buddies, Mark Burt, who's an amazing artist and songwriter, friend of mine. I'm going to jump on his Instagram live and sing a few songs. We've been writing some great stuff in person and then just on virtually as well. He's in Florida, so right now with his family. So I'm going to hop on there, but which is why I got to run here in a minute. But you know, we were talking about spiritual, you know, things and all that stuff. I mean, do you want me to close on like a spiritual-esque tune since it is Good Friday?
I would love that. That would be great. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good thing potentially to do.
That is awesome. Yes.
Um, well, this song here, this one, well, you were saying that you know you like the old hymns better and you do the new stuff. So this one is a song that I love personally, and it combines a new thing with an old thing. And I posted a video of it the other night, but it was a song I played a lot in church and for music ministry stuff, and it's a song that's for whatever reason always been there. And I played it at my grandpa's funeral. I played it all sorts of different places. So I'll let the song speak for itself. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to feel. In grace, my fears relieved. How precious did that grace be. The hour I first My chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. In like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. The Lord has promised good to me. His word, my home secure. His will, my shield and portion. His love is alive and closing. My chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. In like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. My chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. In like the flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow. The sun forbear to shine, but God is called me low. Will be forever mine. Will be forever mine. You are forever mine. Yeah, a spiritual for it for Good Friday.
That was beautiful. I love that version of it.
Yeah, I do too. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I like that version of it. I get goosebumps every time I hear that song, but
Me too. I wish I wrote it.
yeah. If you did, you'd never have to work another day in your life.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to, but I would.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
This whole thing, man. Even if you don't have to work, it's a at least what I do. I mean, I think it is for a lot of people. It's a lifestyle. You work, you do it because you want to do it.
Oh yeah.
And also because you don't know what else to do. So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. I love what I'm doing now. So I love connecting with you guys and doing this. It's so much fun.
Well,
And
thank you for doing it.
you take care. I know you've got to jump on somewhere else, but everybody, Matt Wynn.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Let me say goodbye to you people, and I will see y'all. Y'all have a happy Easter weekend, and I'll see y'all Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. And check out my socials. Follow Stacy as well. Check out my socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. It's Matt Wynn Music, MattWynn Music. At Matt Wynn Music. You'll be able to find it. I got a couple of singles on Spotify and iTunes and all that good stuff.
Yep.
So
I'm glad you said that. I usually say all that, and it just went.
Oh, it's all good. Usually we do that. For guys like me, right now we're trying to still pay the rent and everything. I got Venmo and PayPal and all that stuff, virtual tip jar thing. My
Yes.
Venmo is the same thing as my socials. It's at Matt Wynn Music. Anything you can do or not do, or just follow me on my socials. That's something you can do for free, and that helps me just as much.
Absolutely.
So,
And don't just download their music, go to iTunes and buy their music. That helps them. So yes, follow them on all platforms. Go to iTunes, buy their music. Give me a couple of days. This will be on YouTube. Yeah, all that good stuff. As you said, Matt Wynn, Wynn.
Yes.
So y'all follow him. You won't regret it.
Oh,
all right. Y'all have a great weekend. Happy Easter. See you on Monday. Matt, hang with me just a second.
Amen.